We're going to graph these two equations on this same coordinate system. We want to make sure that each equation is in y equals mx plus b form, and they both are. Now, we could graph this like we did before, where we pick a number for x and solve for y and get ordered pairs and do it that way. But since these are in y equals mx plus b form and they're not large numbers, we're going to graph using the slope and the y-intercept. So make sure that it is in y, that's y all by itself, and everything else on the other side. Make sure it's in slope-intercept form, and this is. So the first equation, our slope is the 2/3, and our b is -3, because that's the constant term, the -3. Our second equation, let's look at it. Let's do it in a different color. Our slope is also 2/3. And our b, our y-intercept, is 1. So we know then if the slopes are the same, when slopes are the same, m equals m, lines are parallel. So we can already answer, because the slopes are the same, so the lines have to be parallel. Let's graph now. Go back here to our steps. The equation is in y equals mx plus b form. We're going to do the blue one first. Identify the b. The b is -3. We're going to plot the b on the y-axis because the b is, remember, the y-intercept. B stands for y-intercept. So it goes on the y-axis. So our b is -3. Our first dot is right here on the y-axis at -3. Then the m, which is 2/3, so m equals 2/3, we're going to use that to find the other points. Remember, it's rise over run. 2/3 is not a point on the graph. It's what we do to get to the next point. Remember, the top number is up and down. The bottom number is left and right. They're positive. So from here, this -3, we will go up 2 spaces and then over 3. That's going up in a positive direction and to the right in a positive direction. That's positive 2/3. So we could keep going. Remember, these are where the lines intersect. Those are our integers. So from right here, I'm not going to count this place. I'm going to count the next one up 1, 2, and then over 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm putting dots there so you can see what I'm doing, but where the big dots are, that's where our points are on the graph. Now, what if I needed points the other way? Well, 2/3 is the same thing as -2 over -3, right? So that means go down 2 and to the left 3, because down is negative, left is negative. So from, let's say up here, this point, if I go down 2, 1, 2, and over to the left 3, notice I land where I had the previous point. Down 2, over to the left 3. So you can just say that pattern, down 2, left 3, down 2, left 3. Now you don't need all these points, but that's just so you can have an idea of what to do. Remember, if you make a mistake, click clear all right here. You want to have this highlighted. It's usually the only one so far that you have to worry about. So now let's do the green equation. This time the b is 1, so we're going to go to the 1 on the y-axis. It's always starting with the b on the y-axis, and then you use your slope to find your other points. Well, the slope is still 2/3, so I would go up 1, 2, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. So up 2, right 3. And I can go down 2 and left 3. Down 2, left 3. It's easy to make a mistake, especially when these lines are so small. Notice these are parallel, and you can check that because it should be the same distance between each point. So right here, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this should be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 difference. They're parallel. When slopes are the same, lines are parallel.